All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. I had a request to check out not only a video, but a channel. Channel's called Prime Larry Bird. I've never heard of it, but I was asked to check out this video. It's called The Best Larry Bird Revenge Story Ever Told. And I can't remember the context of it. I just remember my interest was piqued when it was suggested to me. So I love Larry Bird trash talk stories and Larry Bird revenge stories. So I don't know what this story is, but I might have already heard of it. But either way, I'm excited about it. Anyways, I checked out this channel and there's a ton of cool vids on Larry Bird. So I'm assuming I'm going to subscribe to this channel by the time this is done. Anyways, I want to get right to it. So I'm going to link the original video down below in the description. If you guys want to check it out without my commentary, go right ahead. Everybody else, please leave a please leave a video a like. Please leave this video a like. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. Let's do this. I appreciate y'all.
Charles Barkley had a handwritten letter delivered to Bill Laimbeer before playing a game against him. And it said, "Dear Bill, f*** you. Sincerely, Charles Barkley." And as one might expect, they got into a fist fight that game.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Dear Bill, fuck you.
And when Robert Parish, who got into a fight with Laimbeer 3 years in a row, was questioned about Bill Laimbeer, he said, "I was always taught, if you can't say something nice about someone, then don't say anything at all. So I'm saying nothing at all." But nobody hated Bill Laimbeer more than Larry Bird.
I tell you, before there was Draymond Green, there was Bill Laimbeer. Like, everybody hated, except for the Detroit Pistons. Everybody else hated this dude.
You never really ever liked Laimbeer in any social situation.
No.
Yeah.
And it's because he was a dirty player. The 80s, when I played, there was a lot of cheap shots. If you go back and watch the Pistons playing against Chicago, I mean, Michael and Scotty were getting pounded. And a lot of it happened after the whistle. Like, you're going in.
By the way, just this one thing. Can you imagine? Hold on.
There's a lot of cheap shots. If you go back and watch the Pistons playing against Chicago.
Can you imagine this play nowadays? Like, people would have been ejected and fined. One play, not for the ball. He went right for his face. And then two, swipe right for his head. This is not a play on the ball. Okay, you can't justify that these days. So that's two flagrants. And that's a flagrant too, because there's no intent on going for the ball. Like, just one play. That's just one freaking play. That's how dirty that team was.
Pounded. And a lot of it happened after the whistle. Like, you're going in and you get fouled, and the guy goes ahead and tries to. That's a free foul.
Is that a play on the ball? It was so dirty. Bill Laimbeer was such a dirty player.
Ricky Mahorn, he'd hit you and all that, but he'd hit you. You know,
I hit him back too.
Yeah. But he didn't try to maim you.
Right.
Bill tried to hurt you.
Yeah, that's the difference. So there's some noobs around here that never watch this era of basketball that say, oh, you know, Jordan couldn't get past the Pistons when they were fouling him like that and blah blah blah. Yeah, because these weren't basketball plays. They were actually trying to hurt Scotty and MJ, especially MJ. They were physically trying to hurt them and injure them. They weren't trying to stop them from scoring. They were trying to end their career. There's a difference.
So they reset it at 5. Laimbeer walked with it, then committed a foul, knocked Bird to the floor. Celtics are very unhappy about it.
Yeah. Hold on.
Got it back, so they reset it at 5.
Oh,
Laimbeer walked
waited with the elbow.
Then committed a foul, knocked Bird to the floor. Celtics are very unhappy about it.
Yeah, caught Bird in the jaw.
Yeah.
And Larry's a little upset.
Yeah, this stuff should have never been allowed.
You know, he was one of them guys, you shoot a jumper,
that.
he tries to slide his foot underneath your ankle so you twist your ankle. And that's why Parish
Did
always
he really used to do that?
If you watch any of our old games, Parish was always twisting his ankle against the Pistons. So one time I shot a jumper and Laimbeer did it to me and I stepped on his foot, but I stepped on a high and twist my ankle. I don't know, a quarter or two later, he was shooting that jumper. I slid mine on there. That's the last time he ever did it.
Really?
Yeah.
And when Bill Laimbeer was called the NBA's,
I think that's why Reggie Miller did the kick shot method. It was like, you got to give me a little bit of space or else I'm going to kick you in the nuts.
dirtiest player by Michael Jordan,
There it is, throwing punches.
Yes, indeed. There are punches thrown.
He responded in a way that really showed his true colors.
Michael Jordan may be a very good, outstanding basketball player, but as a individual, down-to-earth, heart person, he has, I mean, who is he? Who cares about him? All he does is play basketball. In the world, he's this big.
Yeah, I can see why nobody liked him.
Right?
And during the 1986 season, when the All-Star team had just been announced, Bird asked a group of reporters if Laimbeer, who had been an All-Star the last 3 years with the Pistons, had made the team again. And when he heard Laimbeer was not selected, Larry Bird said, "Good. Now I won't have to worry about him getting on the bus and saying, 'Hi, Larry,' and me having to say, 'F you, Bill.'" But that year, they would still see each other in the playoffs.
That was always the one that came out first, and there's always a leprechaun out on the floor. I'd go out and spit right on the leprechaun, rub my foot in it, and then go down and make a big dunk. Away we went.
The tension was obviously high.
I can't believe this guy. Was he not? Am I tripping? Was Bill Laimbeer coaching women's basketball, either on a collegiate level or on the pro level? I think this was a thing. I can't imagine this being a good idea. Like, what the hell? Out of all people, you don't want to learn off him. He didn't have fundamentals. He didn't have a jump shot. Like, what are you going to learn? What is he going to teach?
One game, Robert Parish said, "I feel like Laimbeer took some cheap shots at me.
There you go.
I guarantee something will break out if they let it go next time." And though nothing happened the rest of that series, the very next year, they met again in the Eastern Conference Finals. And in Game 4, it got crazy.
Open people. See Sting. And 24 seconds.
Oh, no. Yeah, I remember this.
And Laimbeer go at it.
Once again, I'm sorry. How's that a basketball play? You could have he could have been, oh my God. You could have broke his spine, injured his knees, fucked up his ankle, and worst of all, like, could have had a concussion or could have, like, severely injured his brain on the way down. Like, this is hardwood floor. I'm sure you guys have felt it. That's very hard surface. That's not a padded surface. Look at that.
Clock goes down and Bird.
Hey, go beat the shit out of him, Bird.
And Laimbeer go at it.
Yeah, Laimbeer's on the bottom.
Bill Laimbeer have both been ejected from the game.
Yeah, fuck you.
Now there's Bird throwing the ball at Laimbeer and Rodman coming over.
Larry Bird said, "Laimbeer was backing away from me, didn't want any part of me.
Yep.
I wish they would have cleared the court for about 15 minutes and just let us go at each other."
No kidding.
And Bill Laimbeer, in classic Bill Laimbeer fashion, he said, "I didn't do a thing. I tried to grab hold of him to break his fall, and Larry came up swinging. I was victimized." And Larry Bird responded, "Sure, he wasn't trying to hurt me. And I was trying to throw the ball at the referee. Bill's face just got in the way."
When you play the same team 4, 5, 6, 7 times right in a row within the space of about 2 weeks, it's got to be bad tempo. Our ball club, I always feel, were retaliators, not instigators.
Yep.
And I think the other team, like Detroit, they are the instigators.
And in that
They always, I mean, you always find a common theme, right? So were the Bulls the instigators? No, we saw how they played against everybody else. They weren't out there fighting like this. Were the Celtics? No, they weren't. They only played like this against the Pistons. So same idea. What's the common denominator? Bad boy Pistons. Every single time. They were the ones to start these fights, and then they play victim afterwards when it blows up into something else. They're like, "Oh, we're just playing hard basketball." Yeah, bullshit.
next game, when Bill Laimbeer tried to come out and shake Larry Bird's hand,
fuck you.
Larry looked at Bill and said, "Oh, f yourself."
I would have done the same.
I always have respect for my opponents, Larry said. But in my instance, I think Laimbeer was trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
So in Game 5, the Celtics got their revenge.
I was at the game, and the crowd just had so much hatred for Laimbeer for that game. I've never been in any sort of a sporting event where the crowd hated a player that much.
Yeah.
And I still am convinced to this day that the crowd convinced Parish to punch him in the second quarter.
Oh, no question.
Very gingerly tried to shoot that shot.
Nice play by Darren Day. It doesn't fall. The tip by Parish. He can't get it to fall, and Parish takes Laimbeer to the ground. with a right.
Hold on, was that the video tripping out? Or, oof.
Nice play by Darren Day. It doesn't fall. The tip.
Yeah, it's on the video end.
You can't get it to fall.
I can kind of see it though.
Takes Laimbeer to the ground with a right forearm. Well, they had said it was only a matter of time till somebody did this.
Yeah.
Laimbeer, he had it coming. That's, yeah. He had it coming.
Because you watch the replay and it was like barely he did anything.
It could have happened 2 plays before.
The cameras just got the part where Robert got mad, see? But nobody saw Laimbeer's elbow that hit him in the neck, right by the Adam's apple. And all he did was react because people are sick and tired of this guy with the baby face, putting his hands up all the time. Who, me? Meanwhile, he'll sucker punch you, he'll do everything in the game. So as I said once before, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yeah, it reminds me of the whole victim thing. It reminds me of, I can't remember, what was it, Casino, or was it, I think the movie was Casino. And Joe Pesci's character, right? Joe Pesci, I think it was like Nicky or something like that. He's a total menace, a total pest. He's screwing over everybody he does business with, everybody he claims is his friend. He's hooking up with his friend and business partner's wife. Like all these terrible things he's done. He's screwed over everyone, right? And then at the very end of the movie, they take him to was it a cornfield? I think it was a cornfield or a cotton field. And they take care of him. But if you just watched, because it's brutal, if you just watched the end where they take him out to the field, you'd be like, oh my God, Joe Pesci's a victim. Why would they do something like that to him? Same situation here. This wasn't Robert Parish just out of the blue manhandling the hell out of Bill Laimbeer. This was built up over time. This, like Kevin McHale said, he had it coming, just like Pesci had it coming in that movie. This shit adds up, and eventually, people are gonna pop.
Yeah, I was kind of looking over my shoulder, Max. I thought I was gonna get sucker punched, to be honest. In the heat of the battle, we exchanged a few unpleasantries, then a few elbows that passed between us, and then I just lost throwing punches. So I couldn't believe I lost my composure like that. That was the first time ever.
This play epitomized 80s basketball.
Yep.
Because not only did this flurry of punches result in no ejections and no technicals, but they didn't even call a foul.
Oh my God.
They just kept playing. Larry Bird
okay, that's insane. Not even a regular foul.
Called it a good deed. But sometimes, in the words of the great Frank Sinatra, the best revenge
winning.
Is massive success.
Yeah, win.
Because later on that game, Larry Bird made the greatest play of his entire career.
We knew we had to win that game. Both teams knew that whoever won Game 5 was probably going to win the series. Casey had to play the starters almost the whole game. And so our guys were just completely worn out.
There's Bird off the screen from the corner.
Nice shot.
Big basket by Larry Bird. That's a two-pointer. Detroit by 3 with 1:13, and Bird has 36.
The Celtics had been to the finals in 84, 85, 86, and now it's 87. We're all beat up. The guys that are playing are hurt. It was just guts. It was just a guts and pride.
Yeah.
3:41 to go in the game. Detroit leading by 2, and that man is playing on nothing but heart.
At this point, this is bigger than a championship. This is about beating the damn monster.
He went out with an ankle injury that would keep most people out of the game, came back in, and now he's twisted it again.
Damn.
Now, the Boston moment, that was a heartbreaking moment. What was heartbreaking about that moment is I had made the game-winning shot.
Everybody wants to beat the Pistons, and right now, Boston is first in line in that desire. They lead by 1, 27 seconds to go.
But I was on Isaiah Thomas, and he went one-on-one against me at the top of the floor. I thought I played pretty good defense, and Isaiah didn't get in the paint, and he took a jump shot, a contested jump shot, and it went in.
Out on the top of the floor against Houston.
16 seconds.
Oh, right in his face.
Thomas with a
yeah,
very
good
big
defense. Just good shot.
Bucket.
We go to the timeout. We know Bird's going to get it either on the left side or the right side. and we got the play figured out. We sent him left. About 5 of us come over there to try to block the shot.
There's Bird with the ball against Mahone. He'll take it to the hoop. You can bet. He's going to try to draw a foul. It's
block.
And Seasting hit it off of a Detroit player. No.
Ball goes out of bounds. And
I know this.
I'll never forget, everything just went in slow motion.
Yeah.
So I run over. We look at the bench, no timeout, nothing. So I run over and I grab the ball.
Tell me you all haven't heard the commentator on this one 1,000 times. That's how you know you're an old school basketball fan. Here
Troy
it comes.
should have called a timeout, Brian, because they had a timeout left. They could advance the ball down to the other end of the floor. There's a shot somewhere. There's a photo that I saw that Chuck Daly is standing by their bench with his hands up, calling timeout. Isaiah, I remember to this day, he's standing there like this to the referee. Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball.
So I grabbed the ball from the referee. Laimbeer's good foul shooter. I never had taken the ball out. That wasn't my thing, right? I throw it up. Bird sneaks in. I didn't even see him.
Bird was moving right when he was inbounding the pass. And when you look at it from a couple different film angles, I mean, he threw it right to him on the move. And I had my back to where he was stealing the ball. So when I turned around, I was probably more shocked than anybody in the whole stadium that Bird had the ball in his
DJ's
hand.
cutting.
And this is probably one of the most incredible plays that's ever happened against me and that probably I've ever witnessed. From an athletic standpoint, 2 people being in sync. And
look at that read.
Just Bird just playing every second. And that's what the Celtics taught us, to play every second, not to play 47 and a half minutes, but to play a full 48.
And he had a smirk on it. He knew the game was over, and he almost had a smile on his face when they gave him the ball, and he did not see Bird at all.
But the thing I remember the most is that Joker. This is the out of bounds line.
Oh, yeah.
That Joker caught the ball, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, he going out of bounds. That dude did this, like a ballerina, right? And if you go back and you watch the play, that dude is on his toes. The baseline is right up under his toes.
Yep, that's why he immediately looked for the pass instead of the shot. Because, Bird would normally... I'm subscribing to this channel. This is good stuff. Yeah, natural Bird would have taken that shot in the clutch, but he needed to think quick on his feet. Thankfully, he had a cutter going right at the basket. It was perfect.
And in my mind, he must have stood there for about 5 seconds because everything was going in slow motion in my mind, right? And it's like, damn, how you doing that? And then DJ, out of nowhere, right? They are so in tune. They are so in sync. He catches Bird hits him. He catches the basketball, lay it up.
Yep. There it is.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ.
I'm walking to the huddle.
I love that. That's one of those classic ones. Oh, man. I love that. What a timestamp.
And as I come back out of the huddle, right, we try to take the ball out of bounds or whatever. Larry walks by and he goes, wow. Winks at me, right? I'm like,
The Celtics won that series in 7 games. And when Bill Laimbeer tried to shake Larry Bird's hand again, Larry just ignored it and walked straight through it. Larry Bird said, I don't like Bill Laimbeer. Why should I shake his hand?
Agreed.
Even Isaiah Thomas, who was Bill Laimbeer's teammate for 11 years on the Bad Boy Pistons, had this to say about him. To tell you the truth, if I didn't know Bill, I wouldn't like him either.
Yeah.
And when the Celtics retired Larry Bird's jersey in 1993, that hatred was still there.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't remember. I remember.
This seems like a perfect night. I mean, except for the fact that Bill Laimbeer couldn't be here.
Oh. Boo.
What would you tell him if he was?
We would probably hang him up with my number.
Oh, man.
Because back in the day, the animosity was not for show. when they hated each other.
This. Hook me up with some with some videos that cover this, everybody. If you got them, I don't know any off the top of my head, but yeah, I want to cover this moment. This was something. I mean, Jesus Christ, this isn't your soft chokehold. Look at this, like, oh my God, look at the positioning.
They really hated each other, and it didn't stop when they retired. They were enemies for life.
I hate Larry Bird, but I respect the hell out of that man.
I respect Isaiah Thomas's talent, no matter how much I hate him. Yeah, I respect his game.
But Bill Laimbeer's hate was on another level because he didn't respect anybody, not even his own teammates. In his last Detroit Pistons practice before he retired, Laimbeer elbowed the star player Isaiah Thomas and broke his rib.
What an asshole.
And when Isaiah Thomas got angry, Laimbeer elbowed him again. Bill Laimbeer once said, "I don't fight, I agitate, then walk away."
Wow, we have words for that. I'm just going to use asshole and avoid all the other words. What a piece of shit.
But this time, Isaiah Thomas didn't let him walk away, because in retaliation, Isaiah Thomas punched Bill Laimbeer in the head, breaking his own hand, resulting in Isaiah being sidelined for 8 weeks.
Worth it.
Like I said, I can see why nobody liked him.
I don't give an inch at all on the court. I don't give anybody any respect. I think that's the major problem with a lot of other players is I don't respect their game. If they happen to get in the way, well, that's not my fault. That's their fault.
Bang.
I make no apologies for my game throughout my career. Whatever the general public thinks about my style of play, I really could care less.
You left the bad blood on the court for the most part, but not with Laimbeer. You never really ever liked Laimbeer in any social situation.
No.
Yeah.
And it's because he was a dirty player.
Larry Bird's sitting next to you right now. Would you talk to him? Would you have a conversation with him? What would you say?
I'd probably go to a different table.
Damn. Man. Yeah. I mean, I knew the hatred was strong between them because before we had the Bulls versus Pistons rivalry, it was the Celtics versus Pistons, but it was the other way around. So the Celtics were the big dog and the Pistons were the up and comers, but the Pistons used dirty tactics in order to overcome the Celtics, which we know they did because they won 2 championships, 89 and 90. Excuse me. So sorry. But yeah, it was different when the Bulls were coming up and the Pistons were the big dog punching down. Then it was a whole nother story. But yeah, many teams hate them. Charles Barkley still to this day speaks out against the bad boy Pistons, saying that wasn't basketball, that wasn't okay, that should have never been allowed. And he hates Bill Laimbeer. Like, it's everybody. It's across the board. And there's a lot of reasons why there wasn't a single person on the bad boy Pistons in Barcelona in 1992 for the Dream Team. I know Isaiah technically skill level deserved it, but they didn't want him representing the country. They didn't want any of the bad boy Pistons representing the country because they didn't want that kind of dirty play. I'm actually kind of surprised that Charles Barkley made it out in the first one because it was like a big deal. That first Olympics with the pros was a big deal that we're going to send out the right message and, we're going to have clean players. Charles Barkley's not a dirty player, but his attitude was a little scary because he'd pop off and start throwing elbows and stuff. But yeah, Isaiah likes to play victim on that one, but his reputation preceded him, and that's why he didn't get to play. And I stand by it. That's why we got Magic Johnson, class act, and we had John Stockton, who's also a class act out there representing us in a point guard position. Anyways, everybody, let me know what you thought about this one. I think this was a great recommendation. I already liked the video. I already subscribed to the channel. I'm looking forward to more content from this channel. And yeah, like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. If you do, I'll see you tonight for the After Dark. And I appreciate you all. I really do. Thank you for watching, hanging out with me, and I'll see you later tonight, okay? See you in the comments.